next part is on happiness. Most people are about as happy as they make up their mind to be. So said Abraham Lincoln. It is not what happens to us in life that determines our happiness, so much as how we react to what happens. Fred might, on just having lost his job, decide that he now has the opportunity to work somewhere exciting and different. His brother Bill might, under the same circumstances, decide to jump off a 20-story building and end it all. Given the same situation, one man rejoices while the other man commits suicide. One man sees disaster and the other man sees opportunity. I may have simplified things a little here, but the fact remains, we decide how we react in life. And even if we lose control, that is a decision that we make. We perhaps decide, things are getting a little too difficult for me. I think I will lose my mind for a while. Being happy is not always easy. It may take all the determination, persistence, and self-discipline that we can muster. Maturity means taking responsibility for our own happiness and choosing to concentrate on what we have rather than on what we haven't. We decide the thoughts we think. No one else puts thoughts in our mind. To be happy, we need to concentrate on happy thoughts. How often, though, do we do the opposite? How often do we ignore compliments that are paid to us, but dwell on unkind words for weeks afterwards? If you allow a bad experience or a nasty remark to occupy your mind, you will suffer the consequences. Remember, you are in control of your own mind. Most people remember compliments for a few minutes and insults for years. They become garbage collectors carrying around trash that was thrown at them 20 years ago. Mary may be heard to say, "I still remember how he said that I was fat and stupid back in 1995. Any compliments Mary received even yesterday will likely have been forgotten, but she is still carting around the 1995 trash. I remember aged 25, waking up one day and deciding that I had had enough of being miserable. I thought to myself, if you're going to be a really happy person someday, why don't you start now? That day I decided to be a whole lot happier than I had ever been before. I was stunned. It actually worked. I then began to ask other happy people how they came to be so happy. Invariably, their answers reflected my experience exactly. They would say, I had had enough misery, heartache, and loneliness, and I decided to change things. In a nutshell, being happy can be hard work. It's like keeping a nice home. You've got to hang on to your treasures and throw out the garbage. Being happy requires looking for good things. One person sees the beautiful view, and the other sees the dirty window. You choose what you see and you choose what you think. Kazantzakis said, you have your brush and colors, you paint paradise, then in you go. Perfection and happiness. If we're unhappy, it's because life is not as we want it. Life is not matching our expectations of how it ought to be, and so we're unhappy. So we say, I'll be happy when ... Well, life is not perfect. Life is about being exhilarated, frustrated, sometimes achieving, sometimes missing out. So long as we say, I'll be happy when ... we're deluding ourselves. Many people live life as if someday they'll arrive at happiness like one arrives at a bus stop. They figure that someday everything will fall into place. They will take a deep breath and say, here I am at last, happy. So their life story is one of I'll be happy when ... We each have a decision to make. Are we prepared to remind ourselves daily that we have only limited time to make the most of what we've got? Or will we while away the present, hoping for a better future? The following piece was written by an 85-year-old man who learned that he was dying. It is particularly relevant. He said, if I had my life to live over again, I'd try to make more mistakes next time. I wouldn't be so perfect. I would relax more, I'd limber up, I'd be sillier than I've been on this trip. In fact, I know very few things that I would take so seriously. I'd be crazier, I'd be less hygienic. I'd take more chances, I'd take more trips, I'd climb more mountains, I'd swim more rivers, I'd go more places I've never been to. I'd eat more ice cream and fewer beans, I'd have more actual troubles and fewer imaginary ones. You see, I was one of those people who lived prophylactically and sensibly and sanely hour after hour and day after day. Oh, I've had my moments, and if I had to do it over again, I'd have more of those moments, moment by moment by moment. I've been one of those people who never went anywhere without a thermometer, a hot water bottle, a gargle, a raincoat, a parachute. If I had it to do all over again, I'd travel lighter next time. If I had it to do all over again, I'd start barefoot earlier in the spring and stay way later in the fall. I'd ride more merry-go-rounds, I'd watch more sunrises, and I'd play with more children if I had my life to live over again. But you see, I don't. Isn't this message a beautiful reminder? The old man realized that in order to be happier, in order to get more out of life, he didn't have to go and change the world. The world is already beautiful. He had to change himself. The world is not perfect. Our unhappiness is equal to the distance between the way things are and the way they ought to be. As we become more flexible, the business of being happy becomes easier. We then choose to have preferences for the way things might be, and decide that if our preferences are not met, we will be happy anyway. As the Indian guru once told a pupil who was in desperate search of contentment, I will give you the secret. If you want to be happy, be happy.